All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so as you see on screen, I have this article. All right, and the title reads, Blackrock CEO says global elite must call billions of humans to reach elevated standard of living. All right, now starting with the satanic Illuminati, Edomite elite banker families, all right, they have an agenda. And that agenda is to bring forth a new world order. All right, and part of that new world order agenda, all right, is to depopulate the masses of the earth. All right, there's something that's known as the Georgia Guidestones. All right, and written on the Georgia Guidestones, one of the orders is to bring down the population of humanity to 500 billion. All right, that's part of the New World Order agenda, because the less people, the easier it is to control them. All right, and that's part of this New World Order agenda. All right, to have total control over the masses of this earth. All right, through their technology, which is the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right, so I have this book here. All right, which I have gone into this book many times. I have done many lessons on this book. All right, it's called Population Control by Jim Marrs, which goes into all the way the elites go about to depopulate the masses of this earth. It goes into the GMO foods. It goes into the poisoning of the water supply, the food supply, all right, the medical industry, all right. It also goes into the chemtrails, all right, and it explains a little bit about the Georgia Guidestones in the beginning of this book, all right, because again, that's the agenda of the elites, all right, the elite bankers, all right, the satanic Illuminati, elite Edomite banking families, all right, to bring forth a new world order. All right, and part of that new world order is to depopulate the masses, because the less people there are, the easier it is to control. All right, and that's what they want, total control over this whole entire earth through their technology, the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right, why do you think they created these world wars, World War I, World War II, and now we're entering World War III? All right, because these major wars have killed millions and millions of people, man. And we're gonna get into that in a second. All right, so that was the whole point of these world wars. All right, because all wars, all right, are bankers' wars. All right, each world war was created by the Rothschilds. All right, matter of fact, they start all the wars and they also determine the outcome of the wars. All right, a country can't even attack another country, all right, unless the Rothschilds give them the green light, man. That's how much power. Bro, you got to understand, this entire earth is a stage. This whole earth is a stage, man. All right. So you got, let's get into this book real quick, which talks about the Georgia Guidestones. And then we'll also get into this article too, man. All right. But again, this is from the book Population Control, all right, by Jim Marrs. Again, I've done many lessons on this book, man. All right, just go on my YouTube channel, and in the search bar, type in Population Control by Jim Marrs. And in like 6, 7, at least 6 videos will come up, man, going into the chemtrails, the GMO foods, grains, all right, whole grains, and these fake sweeteners, all right, the poisoning of the water supply, the food supply, the GMOs, genetically engineered and modified foods. This is all done systematically, all right, to depopulate the masses, all right. So when you go to chapter 1, it talks about the depopulation, right? And it goes into the Georgia Guidestones, all right? The Georgia Guidestones is a monument. Matter of fact, No, I just keep reading. All right, it says the Georgia Guidestones is a monument, and I don't think the Georgia Guidestones are there anymore. I think they got destroyed. All right, if I, not too long ago they got destroyed. They got broken and tumbled down. All right, if I'm not mistaken, it says the Georgia Guidestones is a monument in Elbert County, Georgia. It is composed of four 16 tall stones that have been called the American Stonehenge. Indeed, its origins is as mysterious as its English namesake. Commissioned in 1979 by a man using the pseudonym, R.C. Christian, the monument was constructed by the Ebertine Granite Finishing Company and completed in 1980. An accompanying tablet states that the sponsors of the stones are a small group of Americans who seek the age of reason. All right, a message is inscribed on the stones in 8 modern languages and 4 ancient ones. Below the title, all right, let these be guide stones to the age of reason. The engraved message reads, all right, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. All right, so the agenda of the elites is to bring this population down, all right, to 500 million. All right, so all throughout the course of history, all right, the elites, all right, the satanic Illuminati, Edomite wicked banking families, all right, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Collins families, all right, starting with them, all right, their agenda, all right, is to depopulate the masses of the earth, man. That's why in your foods is nothing but chemicals, all right. That's part of the depopulation process to keep the people zombified, all right. Your food is nothing but chemicals, man. Chemicals and drugs. Polysorbate 60, polysorbate 80, yellow number 5, all right, red 60, you know? Man, you people have no idea, man. All right? And like I was getting into these world wars, all right? That was also the reason for a world war. All right, to depopulate the masses. All right, same thing with the scamdemic. The scamdemic slash plandemic. All right, that happened in 2020. You know, with the yo jabba jabba. You know, that was also part of the depopulation process, to have the entire people in the uproar and chaos. All right, so they could come behind it with order, so they could put the people in order. All right, because it's something that's known as order ab chaos, which is Latin for order added chaos. All right, you create the problem. All right, and then you come behind it with the solution. And then you have the solution for it, man. Problem, action, solution. All right, you create the problem, you get the action of the people, and you come behind it with the solution. So the problem was what? The bovid. All right, and then they came behind it with the solution, which was the juicy juice. All right, the Maxine Nightingale. Right, and the next thing you know, people are dropping like flies. Right? All right. So you got so it says Blackrock CEO says global elite. All right? The global elite, yeah. All right, the elite bankers. All right, must call billions of humans to reach elevated standard of living. And this is part of the New World Order agenda. The word call means to, I got it right here. All right, to reduce or control the size of something such as a herd by removal. All right, as by hunting or slaughter, all right, of especially weak or sick individuals. Come on, man. What does that sound like, bro? All right, also to hunt or kill individuals for calling, man. You see? Come on, man. Something rejected, especially as being inferior or worthless. All right, that's the noun of it. All right, but this was the verb. All right, so you got these world wars. All right, I said, how many people died in World War I and World War II combined? All right, so World War I, all right, total deaths was 16 to 20 million. 16 to 20 million. All right, and just the military deaths alone was 9 to 11 million. And this is the civilian deaths. People that weren't even in the military or in the war. Just people chilling at home. 6 to 9 million. 6 to 9 million civilian deaths. People who just chilling at home, maybe riding a bike, playing in the park, a stroll through the park. You know? 6 to 9 million civilians. So how many people you think you're gonna die in this third world war? And these weren't even nuclear wars. All right? When the US dropped the bombs, all right, the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, all right, that was the beginning of the nuclear age. All right? that was the beginning of the nuclear age. World War I didn't see that, man. All right? And you had 16 to 20 million die. So how many people you think are going to die in this third world war? Because this war is going to be it's not going to be a boots on the ground war. It's going to be a war of burning and let's get that, bro. Let's get that. What's that? Isaiah 9? Isaiah 9? Come on, man. Isaiah 9 and 5. All right? It reads, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood." Yeah, because war is a bloody thing. All right? So you're going to have your garments drenched in blood. All right? Confused noise, you know, swords and things making loud noise, clanging and all that, guns smacking and just loud noises, man. You know? Leave you confused as hell, man. You know? Not knowing what the hell is happening, shell shock. You know? For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. And that's been war all throughout the history. War is a bloody thing. All right? For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, meaning this World War III, all right? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. All right? That's the type of war World War III is going to be. All right? Burning and fuel of fire. All right? So if this many people died, all right, in war before the nuclear age, guess how many people going to die? All right? More people going to die in this third world war, all right, than World War I and World War II combined. Okay? Straight up. All right? So total deaths was 16 to 20 million. Military deaths was 9 to 11, and civilian deaths was 6 to 9 million. That's civilian deaths, bro. People that wasn't even in the war, bro. Just regular civilians, man, chilling at home. Like I said, walking in the park, playing in the ground, you know, at the playground, you know. And then you got World War II, total to 70 to 85 million deaths. All right, military deaths was 21 to 25, and then more civilians died than people in the war. That's crazy. Civilian deaths were 50 to 60 million. How more people died that weren't even in the war? All right, that aren't even in the military than people that were in the military. All right, fighting in the war. Oh man, this was part of the agenda of the elites. This is why they created these wars. All right, to depopulate the masses. All right, and it's also part of their satanic agenda, man. It's part of their quote unquote cleansing. All right, they're cleansing the earth. All right, put them air quotes up, cleansing. All right, because that's what they do. They're trying to cleanse. That's part of their alchemy. Their satanic part of their satanic cleansing. Their witchcraft, man. All right. It says includes Holocaust victims, bombings, and famine. All right. So it says a combined total approximately 86 to 105 million people died in both wars combined. All right. These are estimates due to incomplete records and differing methodologies, all right, between sources, especially for civilian casualties. World War II was vastly more deadly due to its global scale, civilian targeting, and genocides. All right, so listen, bro, these nuclear missiles are going to kill millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people in seconds, bro. In seconds. All right, it's only going to take 1 hour for America to be destroyed. All right, that's written in the book of Revelation, Revelation 18. All right, when you read Revelation 18, all right, it's talking about Babylon being destroyed, which is America. As you see the subheading right here, Babylon is fallen. All right, which you could place Babylon with America. America is fallen. All right, this is the vision, all right, that Apostle John had seen on the island of Patmos of America being destroyed. All right, John said that Babylon shall be utterly burned with fire. All right, so matter of fact, let's read that. Let's read that. I guess I'll start at verse 1, but the point is in 8. All right. No matter of fact, I'll just get straight to the point. Revelation 18:8 says, therefore shall her plagues, the her is talking about America, Babylon. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Yeah, talking about the nuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles that carry multiple warheads. All right. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. All right. For strong is the Lord God, Yahweh, who judgeth her. All right. And that's how the Lord is going to judge America, by destroying it. All right. Sweeping it off the face of this earth by thermonuclear destruction. America is going to be completely swallowed and engulfed by thermonuclear destruction, nuclear fire. You understand? All right. Now, I also said what? America's what? Going to be destroyed in 1 hour. All right. So it says right here, verse 10, standing, all right, Revelation 18:10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, which is America, that mighty city, right? For in 1 hour is thy judgment come. It's only going to take 1 hour for America to be destroyed by nuclear destruction. Okay? 60 minutes. All right? You know how many people are here? You know the population of America? What is it? 333 million? All right? Let's get that real quick. As of 2025, what is the population of the United States of America? All right, let's get it. 341,145,670, man. All right, 341 million. All right, 145,670. Come on, man. All right, so just about this many people are going to die in America alone. All right, only the elect is going to be saved from this nuclear destruction. The elect is the 144,000. All right, and the great multitude that follows behind the 144,000. That is the elect. All right, So 300, let's just say 300 million, right? 300, let's just say 300 million people die, right? That's how many people are going to die in America alone, which is more than World War One and World War Two combined. So what about other parts of the earth, bro? All right, this is why the elites are bringing this third world war in. All right, which is biblical prophecy. You understand? The 144,000 are going to be redeemed, all right, out of America. All right, you got the 144,000 that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But the great deliverance is going to be here in America. So most of them are going to come out of America. And the rest of the elect are going to come out of America. You know? Just about almost all the elect is going to come out of America, man. You know? And the rest of the people are going to die. So we'll say about just 300 million. Just to be the benefit of the doubt, just to say, lack of a better phrase, all right? So that many people are going to die. More people are going to die, all right, in this third world war, all right? More people are going to die in this third world war than World War One and World War Two combined. In just America alone, let alone the other parts of the world that are going to get hit with nuclear missiles, right? Man, this is why you got to come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai right now, all right? So let's read this article, man. Blackrock CEO says global elite must call billions of humans to reach elevated standard of living. Yeah, that's part of the New World Order agenda. All right, that's that elevated standard of living. That's that New World Order agenda, right? Which they're not going to get away with, which is going to be in the grasp, all right, of their hand, and the Lord's just going to yank it from them. All right, the Lord is going to make them believe, all right, that they're going to get away with this New World Order, which they think they are. All right, and the Lord is going to crack that sky and yank it from them. Because they're going to usher in, right? They're going to usher in the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, and they're going to say to themselves, we did it. We did it. We got it. We chipped everybody on this earth, right? Except for the elect, all right? The elect is not going to get chipped, all right? The elect is not going to receive the mark of the beast, all right? They're going to be saved and delivered from the mark of the beast, whether they become martyrs or they escape it, man. Somehow, some way, through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, right? So let's read this article, man. All right, it says they call him a titan of finance. All right, the CEO of the world's largest asset manager. All right, but behind public veneer, some believe Larry Fink is articulating a chilling doctrine. Depopulation is not an anomaly to be feared; it's a target to be achieved. All right, but like I was saying, it kind of slipped my train of thought. Like I was saying, the Lord is going to yank it from them, man. Matter of fact, the scriptures say when they're about to fill their bellies. All right. I know it's in Job. Yeah, it's it right here. All right. Why do it have all right, let's get it. It says this is Job 20 and 23, all right, which is talking about when you read Job the 20th chapter, it's talking about Esau Edom the wicked. All right, it's talking about the wicked race, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families, all right, the satanic Illuminati wicked Edomite banking families. All right, so it says when he is about to fill his belly, yeah, right, when they think they got their New World Order agenda, all right, in their grasp, right, when they say to themselves, we did it, we got it, we actually fulfilled our dream, our New World Order dream, right? When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. That's right, man. All right. While he is eating, he's going to yank it from him. Like, psych, nigga. You about to come down. You know? You about to come down. You about to be abased. And we gonna look at you, and we gonna look at Esau, Edom, in the kingdom like, this is the man that made all the earth to tremble and did destroy the kingdoms, like it says in what's that, Isaiah the 14th chapter. All right. Back to this article. All right. It says, if you listen carefully to his words and connect the dots, you begin to see a strategic blueprint for a post-human future. All right. As a WEF special session, it says a WEF special session Fink dropped a statement that caught the attention of many observers. I can argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations. All right. The social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations. Let's read that again. It says, I can argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations. The social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries than countries that have declining populations. All right. He elaborated, we used to see population shrinking as a drag on growth, but now with AI and robotic, fewer people, fewer needs, fewer dissenters, fewer demands, all right, could mean a smoother transition to machine-driven economies, all right? And you kind of see that happen. You see that happening now, bro. AI taking over everything. You don't see nobody in these Walmart lines, McDonald's lines, all right? When you go to the drive-thru, I don't even eat there, but I be seeing online. These drive-thrus are the AI takes your order now. You know? It says elevated standard of living, quote unquote, all right, for those fortunate enough to survive the call. The productivity gains, all right, from automation are large enough to offset human labor decline, all right, like you see happening now. All right, and this is him speaking. So let's just watch this video real quick.
I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
Okay, and this is everything that the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord will teach you, man. You think these pastors and this is all part of the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures, man. You know? The scriptures say that they have a crafty council, which is that new world order agenda. That's that crafty council. You know? And that the Lord is going to stop their enterprise. That's in Job the 5th chapter. Let me see if I could grab it real quick. Job 5. Let's grab it real quick. Job 5 and 12. Yeah, all right. Job 5 and 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, all right, the devices of the crafty, which is Esau, Edom. He's the crafty, he's the sneaky one, all right, the wicked one. Esau, Edom, starting with the elite bankers, the so-called white man. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, which is their devices, is this new world order, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Like I said, the Lord is going to yank it from them, man. All right, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. All right.
That's something that most people never talked about. You know, I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations. Okay, that's something that most people never talked about. You know, we always used to think shrinking population is a cause for negative growth. But in my conversations with the leadership of these large developed countries that have xenophobic immigration policies, they don't allow anybody to come in, shrinking unemployment, shrinking demographics, these countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. And so the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing. And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations. And so for those countries that have rising populations, the answer will be education, and so rapidly developing. For those countries that do not have a foundation of rule of law or education, they're going to be left. That's where the divide's going to get more and more extreme. And unfortunately,
all right. And behind him, you see the World Economic Forum, which is a globalist party, which used to be led by Klaus Schwab. All right. He always used to talk about the microchip, man. All right, which is the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right, and he said it proudly. Everyone will be. He said everyone will be chipped. All right, but then you got these Israelite camps. Some of these Israelite camps. All right, ISUPK. All right, IUIC, HOI. They can't see that the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is the RFID chip, man. And we break it down going into the Greek. Going into charagma, then charax, then grapho, and stigma. All those Greek words proving you that it goes back to the chip, man. It says he also asserted that social resistance to displacing humans with machines is easier to manage when population pressures are reduced. Added to this, Fink has publicly pushed the cause of AI and infrastructure investment. All right. He's in talks with governments and to fund massive power expansion to fuel data centers and chip factories. Bro, come on, man. Chip factories. All right. What did I just say, man? All right. It says in his 2025 chairs letter, all right, he also frames our new era as one where computers handle most of our work, including complex data, on our behalf, all right? It says, taken together, these comments provide raw material for a conspiracy narrative. The world elite personified by Fink envision a future where humans are largely unnecessary. That's why they create this AI so they won't have to because they're, like I said, their whole agenda is to depopulate the masses. All right, to reduce millions and millions and even billions of people, man. All right, so they created this AI. All right, so they don't need so they're okay with depopulating the masses, man. They could just use AI instead of using people. Because they don't need the people no more. They depopulate them and then they use AI, man. When you trace the connections, the WEF, the climate agenda, the AI infrastructure push, the global surveillance grid, it becomes clear that Larry Fink isn't speaking in isolation. Yeah, of course not. All right, he's echoing a coordinate worldview shared by the power brokers who sit at the same tables and fund the same transitions. Depopulation, yep. Automation and centralized control are not random outcomes. Yeah, all right. They're pillars of the same architecture. Yep. It says the message between the lines is simple: fewer people, more control. Yep. And total reliance on the machines. That's the real reset they're building. All right, and it's already underway. Yeah, it's been underway. All right, and going back into this book, all right, population control, all right, like I was reading before, it says some view the stones as offering reasonable and rational suggestions as for developing a peaceful and just world, which, yeah, right, the world we living in now is nowhere near just and is controlled by Esau Edom. How can he bring on another world that's just? Get the fuck out of here, man. All right. Damn devil. Esau, the scripture says Esau always going to be wicked, man. All right? He already had time to rule. The next world to come is for the nation of Israel, which is the kingdom of heaven. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. That's the next world to come. And it's going to be, this world is going to be forever. This age is going to be forever. It's never going to end. All right, the age of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The age of Yahweh Shai's kingdom. All right, others see something more sinister. Yeah. One conspiracy website noted astronomical features within the stones. All right, the four major stones are oriented to reflect the migration limits of the sun during the year. All right, while a hole in the center stone always aligns with the North Star, and another hole aligns with the rising sun during the summer and winter solstices. Such celestial alignments are found in the works of secret societies. Yep, right, from Freemasons to Druids. All right, and the mystery schools of ancient Greece and Egypt. All right, the monument is therefore proof of an existing link between secret societies. Yeah, all right, the world elite and the push for a new world order. Yeah, yep, all right, declared the website. All right, in 2008. Well, that's the truth. This is the truth. All right. In 2008, vandals defaced the monument with the words "Death to the New World Order," and that's exactly what's going to happen when Yahweh Shai returns and pulls it from him, man. All right. And now I don't even think it's there anymore. Matter of fact, let me see if I could. Let me see if I could image search it real quick. Because now it's destroyed. It's not even there anymore. It got destroyed. Yeah, you see? You see right here? It got destroyed. Yup. Look at it. Look at this picture right here. Yup. There you go. More pictures. So it's destroyed now. All right? Which that's a spiritual sign. All right? Which let you know the Lord's getting ready to stop this thing, man. All right? All right? It says the stone's first admonition is the most disconcerting to many. All right? As the world population in mid 2014 stood at nearly 7.5 billion persons, if the Guidestones mandate to hold the human population by 500 million. Wait, what does it say? All right, to 500 million is achieved. What is to happen to the other 7 billion? All right, England's Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and a prominent globalist may have revealed the views of the global elite when in 1981 he told People magazine human population growth is probably the single most serious long-term threat to survival. Of course. Esau, man. All right, we are in for a major disaster if it isn't curbed. All right, not just for the natural world, all right, but for the human world. All right, the more people there are, the more resources they'll consume, the more population they'll create, the more fighting they will do. All right, we have y'all the ones that create all of the wars. Esau got some damn nerve, man. All right, we have no option. All right, if it isn't controlled voluntarily, it will be controlled involuntarily by an increase in disease, starvation, and war. Years later, Philip mused, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation. This fucking Esau, man. All right. So I'll leave it at that, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson was edifying, man. For real, for real. We all do all things unto edification, man. All right. You know, this is the agenda of the elites, man. They have that new world order. But the Lord is getting ready to yank it from them. All right. Yahweh Shai getting ready to crack that sky. All right. In the next age to come, the real new world order, the real reset is when Yahweh Shai comes back and resets this world in order, in righteousness. And the laws that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai gave to Israel, that Yahweh gave to Israel, is going to be the laws that are going to govern this earth. All right, when Yahweh Shai returns and sets up his kingdom on this earth. All right, which is the kingdom of Israel. All right, that's the real new world order. All right. So again, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazad, this lesson was edifying. All right, call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Quidash. On to the next one. Shalom, shalom.